the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an anemia, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I am going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Quasad Otten, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, Black power, Black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Black Power, brothers and sisters. I am your speaker for today, Sister Ebony Stevenson. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. We are located in Chicago, Illinois at 616 East 71st Street in the historic Grand Crossing community. If you enjoy what you hear today on this lecture or any of our previous lectures, and you would like to get some more information or to find out how to join us live and in person, you can always give us a call or text us at 773-846-3091. Today, I am going to be speaking to you about the campaign of the original Men in Black, which is called the Stop the Killing, Start the Healing campaign. If you have been following us for a while on our social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, or even in person, you will know that this past spring, we launched this campaign to deal with the issue of gun violence in our communities in Chicago, Illinois. And throughout this lecture, when I say our, I'm talking to Black people. This lecture is for the Black family. And this is such an important issue because we know that gun violence isn't just impacting us here in Chicago, it's impacting all of the inner cities of America that have a large population of Black people. And this issue is a multi-layer issue, and we're not going to get to everything today, but it is something that we have lectured on in the past. Minister Rahim has done lectures on this topic of gun violence and who's responsible plenty of times before. So like I said, if you would like more information about solutions or how you can get involved, you can always reach us at 773-846-3091. So like I said, we launched this campaign this past spring, and the campaign was actually launched by our partner group, the Original Men in Black, which I will be going into a little bit of detail about the Original Men in Black, and then we'll be discussing some key points of the campaign and then letting you know how you can get involved. The thing about us here at Toma Nation is that we are very Black conscious, righteous group of people. And we understand that when you constantly do the same things over and over again, and not get a different result, it's the definition of insanity. So I'd like to ask you at home, brothers and sisters, Black family, we've been dealing with the issue of gun violence for a long time. And every year, millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars gets poured out in cities like Chicago across this country to deal with the issue of gun violence. So then my question to you is, if millions of dollars are going into our communities every year, why isn't the issue getting better? Why are we still unsafe in our communities? Why can we not sit at home and not have to duck on the floor, dodging missiles of mass destruction, not knowing whether or not a missile is going to hit your window or hit your door? This isn't a once a month, once every six months issue. This is an everyday issue that we're dodging and ducking gun violence in our cities and in our communities. And that, brothers and sisters, is by design. But before I get to that, I'm going to share some key stats and then talk a little bit about the original Men in Black. And then also, I came across this statistic that I'm going to share with you. But before I do that, I know sometimes we say things and folks might not understand what we mean. So when I say missiles of mass destruction, I wanted to pull up the definition of a missile for you so that you can understand what I'm talking about. So according to Google, when we have a question, we all like to Google. A missile is an object which is forcibly propelled at a target either by hand or from a mechanical weapon. Now, in our communities, when these shootings occur and you see the aftermath of these shootings in our neighborhoods, when the shell cases are left behind, what do they look like? Little missiles, mini missiles, right? And so here at Toma, we refer to these bullets as missiles of mass destruction because the guns that are shooting these bullets are quick kill weapons of mass destruction because they are designed to hit as many targets as possible. And it brings you to mind guns that are used for warfare, right? Not just regular smuggler, like, I'm a member of the NRA, like I have a right to own a gun. It's my constitutional right. I'm going to have a gun at my house to protect myself. We're not talking about those folks. And we're not talking about those guns. We're talking about these guns that are shooting 20, 30, 40, 50 bullets in a minute, right? We're talking about these guns. And it does remind you of when you see videos of third world countries and you see war zones, because that's what it sounds like when you're at home. You're hearing shot after shot after shot after shot. And so this is why we refer to these weapons as quick kill weapons of mass destruction, because they are designed to kill you quickly and efficiently. And we don't need those kind of weapons in our community. And like I said, it's just insane that in communities like ours, in cities like ours across the country, that we've just grown so accustomed to ducking and dodging these missiles as it's just a part of everyday life. Our children have grown accustomed to it. When they hear gunshots, they automatically know to hit the floor. I remember during the summer, we are so traumatized because of gun violence, and during the, celebrating, the white man's holiday of Independence Day, which we know is a sham because we know we were still enslaved on July 4th, whatever the date was when they celebrate Independence Day in this country. But when there were so many fireworks going off, and some of them were like the big explosive fireworks, people were still hitting the deck because they were sounding like gunshots because we're traumatized from this gun violence. And so I'm going to read an article right quick after I give you this statistic. So Chicago's homicide rate is an outlier among major U.S. cities. At a rate of 29 fire homicides per 100,000 residents, it is 6 times higher than New York City's and 3 times higher than in Los Angeles. In 2020 alone, gun homicides increased 52%, resulting in 769 deaths. I just wanted to let that statistic stay with you. And then I'm going to read you this article. And then if you would like links to the articles or links to the statistics that I am discussing, like I said, feel free to reach out to us at 773-846-3091. Excuse me. Now, I just found this article particularly disturbing. And like I said, we know Black communities have been dealing with gun violence for a long time. But, here at Tomas, we talk about the change in the weapons that are used for the gun violence, these quick kill weapons of mass destruction. And so this article came out that supports exactly what we're saying. And so the name of this article is, "In Chicago, the odds of surviving a shooting are getting worse. A new analysis shows a decreasing percentage of Chicagoans surviving gunfire. Researchers, experts, and community members say access to more lethal weapons, these quick kill weapons of mass destruction, and devices that make guns more dangerous are to blame. A person shot in Chicago is more likely to die from it today than they would have been 13 years ago. Fatal shootings have made up a steadily larger share of the city's gun violence statistics. Now, in 2010, out of every 100 people who were shot in the city, 13 died. In 2023, 19 succumbed to their wounds. In other words, proportionally fewer Chicagoans are surviving. Chicago shootings became more deadly, even while the number of total shooting victims rose and then began to taper off, increasing from 2,799 in 2010 to 2,944 in 2023, after reaching a peak of 4,419 2 years prior. As the percentage of fatal shootings grew, so did the number of people who died from them, growing from 354 in 2010 to 559 in 2023. The likelihood of dying after being shot is significantly higher in some neighborhoods, especially in Black and brown communities on the city's south and west sides. Now, we know this. What I'm telling you, this article that I'm reading to you, this isn't anything new to you. But I just wanted to share this article and these statistics because we have to understand that the access to these weapons in our community is not an accident. They are flooding our communities with these weapons on purpose. And Minister Rahim, our leader, teacher, and guide, and the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association, also the Toma Nation, has previously stated in many lectures and many teachings about we're suffering under a flood of guns. And the difference is between the regular gun owner and a flood of guns is that it's just like water. Too much of anything can kill you. And that's what's happening in our community right now, because our community is being flooded by guns, flooded by guns, flooded by guns. And when these shootings and when these crimes are committed, we focus on the perpetrator who has the gun, who committed the shooting, but you never, ever, ever, or rarely outside of us, hear people discussing where did they get the gun from? Where did the quick kill weapon of mass destruction come from? It's not an accident. This is by design that our communities across the country are flooded with these weapons, because here at Toma Nation, we know that there's a diabolical objective to exterminate us off the face of this planet. We know that these killings and putting these guns in the hands of folks is by design. Because think about it. When you look at the stats on gun violence, people automatically assume that, a lot of these shootings they're gang related. A lot of these shootings are being committed by gang members. The stats don't back that up. We know, one, that there are a percentage of these shootings that are related to domestic violence incidents, right? We know, two, that there's a large percentage of these shootings are done under the influence of alcohol. And we never really hear people outside of Minister Rahim Kased-Aten, our founder, leader, teacher, and guide, talk about the effect that all of these liquor stores in our community have on our mental health and our decision-making ability. Because think about it. Way, way back in the day, before I was alive, when people got into it, you got into an argument, right? What would you do? You get a bat, or you get a knife, because there wasn't a flood of guns then, right? Or even as my mom gives a story about my great grandma Iona, like to protect herself, like back in the day, she keep a pot of boiling water on her stove. Like, you're not gonna come breaking her house and knock on her door. I mean, she was able to protect herself. And so those were the things that you had access to. But right now, what happens? You get mad. Somebody's on the expressway. Somebody cuts you off. The flood of guns has given away to, let me reach for my weapon. How many shootings have we heard about that were road rage? Right here in the city. I'm not talking about nowhere else in the country, but just here in the city. How many domestic violence incidents have we heard of of the inter-partner violence, of there being violence and quick kill methods of mass destruction, and the person got shot and someone died due to a domestic incident? Fights in the community, people get into arguments with each other. You can't even get into an argument with somebody or have a different opinion. Why? Because of the flood of guns, and all of these people are walking around here with these weapons. And so we got to start thinking about, where do these weapons come from? But I'm gonna read some more things from this article. And then if you are watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to post any questions or comments that you have in the comment box. And once again, like I said, if you would like more information about this topic, or you would like to join us live to discuss solutions and actually put boots on the ground, you can always reach us at 773-846-3091. Now, about a dozen violence prevention workers and residents interviewed with this paper. It's called The Trace. And they said they now assume that anyone they encounter is carrying a firearm. What did I just say? Access to deadly firearms, they say, along with the ability, listen to this, along with the ability to modify weapons using devices like auto sears, has created in more dangerous situations, especially with more young people carrying guns more often as a means of protection. Technology has advanced, and so have weapons, says Edwin Galletti, the Vice President of Violence Intervention and Prevention Services at UCAN Chicago. Now, unfortunately, with this technology and the advancement, our federal laws have not gotten tighter. And he asked the question, how can civilians access assault weapons when even police don't use them on a daily basis? Why is it easier to get access to a gun than it is to healthcare? Is that the same in communities that don't look like ours? Why is it easier to get a weapon and modify it than it is for me to get a job? Why is it easier for me to be able to get a weapon than complete my high school diploma? Now think about that. We have all of these organizations and churches talking about religious institutions, schools talking about gun violence, gun violence, gun violence. Well, how do we deal with the youth? How do we address the youth? And so many of them, they're not having conversations with young people. They're scared of the young people. But ask them that question. Ask your own self that question. Ask your elected officials that question. Why is it easier to get a weapon and modify it than it is for me to get a job or a high school diploma? Does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. It doesn't make sense here at Toma Nation. I'm going to continue to read just a little bit more before I get into sharing a little bit about the OMIB. And see, this is such a weighty issue, and I only have 10 minutes left of this lecture. But once again, if you do want more information about this topic, please feel free to contact us. Now, it says the lethal. I'm sorry, I almost pronounced that wrong because I'm trying not to get emotional when I talk about this. The lethality of today's firearms leads to more fatal shootings. Gunfire used to come mostly from handguns or semi-automatic weapons, which fire every time the trigger is pulled. Now it's much easier for people to convert handguns into weapons that are significantly more lethal. Glock switches, also known as auto sears, have become more popular, especially among young people. People can buy the small device for less than $20 online and attach it to their handgun, making a semi-automatic weapon fire like one that's fully automatic. It's also possible to make switches on 3D printers, and YouTube tutorials show people exactly how to attach the devices to guns. Illegal online markets make it hard for the government to control access to guns and the devices that modify them. This problem is not exclusive to Chicago, which we already discussed. Higher capacity magazines, which allow shooters to fire more rounds before they have to reload, have also become more ubiquitous. With that rapid fire, you're going to hit your target more, hit people more. That's been a game changer. Isn't that why we say, like now with today's shootings, when they happen in our community, they're not just shooting, they're spraying the block, meaning it's a spray of bullets, meaning it's a spray of these mini missiles that are hitting as many targets as it can. Now, this was also interesting, is that over the past 13 years, the CPD has been more than 6 times the number of high-capacity magazines that hold at least 15 rounds. Funny how they've been recovering more than 6 times the number of high-capacity magazines, but they can't never find no shooters. In 2023 alone, they seized 447 guns that were modified to fire fully automatically. Think about that. They seized 447 guns that were modified to fire automatically. Now, we're not going to get into, how many of those guns that they seized probably winded back on the street, because we already know that that's the case based off of our previous teachers from Minister Raheem Kasset-Aten and previous articles in our local newspapers that actually did research to find out how many of those weapons actually wind back out on the street. But that's a different lecture. And so with that, like I said, everything that I'm mentioning is not new to you guys. And so if you would like more information about this issue, feel free to contact us at 773-846-3091. Now that I talked about the issue a little bit, if you want more information about this and would like a part 2 of this lecture, please feel free to make a comment in our chat or live on Facebook. Now, I'm going to share with you the organization that I was referencing earlier. Give me 1 second and let me share my screen. Now, this is the organization that I was referencing earlier, the Original Men in Black. Excuse me. Now, I'm going to read you a brief history of the Original Men in Black, and then I'm going to... Oh, excuse me. Oh, please forgive me. My allergies are on 10. So I'm going to read this about of the Original Men in Black. And this is from the Facebook page. You can always go on Facebook and type Original Men in Black in the search bar, and then the group is going to pop up. You'll see in the photo, one of the most recent posts, which is from a couple of days ago, which is 2 members of the Original Men in Black, Brother Minister Raheem and Brother Ken. And so that's them on duty. And so I'm going to read this a little history, and then I'll be getting ready to close out. The Original Men in Black started with a group of Black brothers from the Temple of Mercy Association in Franklin Lodge number 25, who grew up on the streets of Chicago. And while growing up on those streets, many of them were involved in the negative aspects of life. But through divine inspiration from God, these young men have been resurrected from their mental graves and conquered their adversities under the leadership, teachings, and guidance under Brother Minister Raheem Kasset-Aten, also known as Sax Preacher. Since 1991, the Original Men in Black have been seen many times riding the red line, delivering the word to the public as a part of their street ministry program, known for being defenders of the youth, They were featured in the Chicago Defender newspaper in 1995 for confronting the Everfresh Juice Company for selling juice in wine-shaped bottles for kids. Understanding the negative images the media were already projecting of our youth, the original Men in Black protested and visited the Everfresh Juice Company headquarters and stores throughout the Black community to make sure no more bottles were sold. In another case, the Men in Black were pictured in the September 4th, 1998 of Time magazine for providing security for the 7 and 8-year-old boys who were being charged with the rape and murder of Ryan Harris. The Men in Black kept the young boys off camera and out of the media sight. There are no pictures of the young men to be shown by the media to date. The OMIB supported Reverend Paul Jakes in his campaign against police brutality in 2 high-profile cases, the Jeremiah Mearday case and the Latanya Haggerty case. The original Men in Black has also been seen out in the community along with their partner organization, the ABJ Wash Patrol, seen in the South Shore community, in the Inglewood community, on the west side, from the south side to the west side, in communities, helping women to their car at the grocery store, walking down the street, chanting positive messages to the community, and providing hospitality patrol to our people. And we have a lot of watch patrols and watch groups in our community, but the thing that's different about the original Men in Black is that they're not here to be a replacement for the police. They're not trying to be the police. They're here trying to build relationships and build trust with our people, to talk to them, to provide that godness to them, so then they're able to, one, teach people a different way of life, to show them that there is an alternative to violence, incarceration, and the street economy. And then also being able to, when there are issues, to be able to talk to people, to talk them down so that those issues don't result in violence. And so when we talk about solutions, the original Men in Black is one of those solutions. And it is through the original Men in Black that we have the campaign that I mentioned earlier, the Chicago Stop the Killing and Start the Healing campaign. Now, we know that there's a lot of violence prevention campaigns in our community, but what's unique about this campaign is because not only are we talking about that we should stop the killing and understanding who's behind the killing, who's behind the flood of guns, who's behind the flood of alcohol in our community that's exacerbating these gun crimes, right? Because you have to know the problem and you have to know who's responsible before you're able to deal with solutions. And so something, I'm going to run a couple minutes over, something that we did was we found out that there were stores in our community that were advertising, that were marketing these guns to our youth in the form of toys, in the form of toy guns. And so and these aren't your little toy baby guns. No, these are semi-automatic, automatic rifle toy guns that they're marketing to our children. And when you look at the research and when you look at what is marketed to Black babies and children and Black teenagers and what is marketed to white teenagers and white children, it's a completely different. It's completely different. And so you go in our community, all you see is guns, guns, guns. You go in other people's communities, you got lightsabers, you got ninja swords, you got all of these fantasy things, right? But they're not marketing the same thing to their children as they do to our children. And so we actually had a conversation with the store owner in the Inglewood community who was selling these weapons, and about him taking the weapons off of his shelves. And so we actually had a conversation with our alderman for that area. And I don't know if it's still closed, but when we had our last event in August, our International Marcus Garvey holiday event, the store was closed down by the city. I don't know if that's still the case. We would have to check and see. But that's my time. Like I said, this is such a weighty issue. And if you would like a part 2 of this lecture, please feel free to drop us a comment in YouTube or live on Facebook. I do encourage you, I'm gonna scroll down just so you can see, check out our Original Men in Black page on Facebook. If you would like more information, once again, please feel free to contact us at 773-846-3091. I almost got the numbers mixed up for a second there. All right, that is my time. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, we're located in the Grand Crossing community at 616 East 71st Street. Reach out to us. If there's something that I mentioned that piqued your interest, like that part about, hey, if millions upon millions of dollars are being spent in our communities every year in Black communities across the country to deal with the issue of gun violence, then why does it seem that the gun violence is going up, that the rate of deaths from these quick kill weapons of mass destruction is going up? And if that's the case, is spending those millions of dollars with these organizations the solution, or if the tactics that those organizations are using, are those the true solutions to stop gun violence? Because are they addressing the flood of guns and who's responsible for that flood of guns? If they're not addressing the issue, then all they're doing is pulling a Band-Aid on a gaping bullet wound, and we know that don't work. All right, thank you so much for joining us. Peace, brothers and sisters.
We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
This is the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power!